Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to unpack the absolutely incredible world of generative AI.
For decades, that was pure science fiction, right? But today, today it's actually starting to become reality.
Just look at this. Machines are now creating stunning, jaw-dropping artwork from nothing more than a few words. And it's not just art, they're writing compelling stories, poetry, and even, get this, computer code, all on command. Okay, so let's dive right in. The technology that's making all this magic happen, it's called generative AI.
So, how in the world does a machine learn to write in a way that feels so human? Well, the whole journey starts with this foundational piece of tech called a large language model, or as you've probably heard, an LLM.
The easiest way to think about it? It's basically the most sophisticated autocomplete you have ever seen. We're talking autocomplete on steroids. Its entire job at its core is just to predict the most likely next word in a sentence. The process, at least from a high level, is surprisingly simple. When you type in a prompt, the AI doesn't actually read the words like we do. Nope. It breaks your text down into these little numerical pieces called tokens. And from there, it just becomes this incredibly sophisticated prediction game. It calculates the most probable next token, tacks it on, and then does it again, and again, and again, building out the entire response one tiny piece at a time. So how does it know which words go together? Well, to understand language, the AI basically creates this giant map of meaning. Think of it like a city where related words are neighbors. So cat and kitten would live right next to each other. This is how it starts to grasp context and relationships, not just, a jumble of individual words. And this number, this is why we call them large language models. A model like GPT-4 has, wait for it, an estimated 1.7 trillion parameters. You can think of these parameters as all the little connections the AI uses to weigh possibilities and make its predictions. It's that sheer, mind-boggling scale that allows for all the nuance and complexity we see in its answers. Okay, so that's text. But what about images? Let's switch gears. Because creating pictures from scratch uses a totally different and honestly fascinating method. Yeah, so unlike LLMs, which are all about predicting the next word, image models, which are often called diffusion models, they work more like a sculptor. Imagine an artist staring at a block of marble, but in this case, the marble is just a screen full of digital static. They don't predict what's next, they reverse engineer an image out of chaos. And the process is it's ingenious. The AI actually learns how to create by first learning how to deconstruct. It's trained by taking a clean image and adding noise to it over and over until it's a total mess. Then it learns how to reverse that process, how to find the picture inside the noise. Once it masters that, it can start with pure noise and, guided by your text prompt, sculpt a brand new image out of thin air. So here's a really cool example of this in action. These models can do something called outpainting. We're going to start with a famous, very tightly cropped painting that we all know. And now, watch this. The AI basically dreams up what might exist just beyond the original canvas. It paints the rest of the room, the walls, the furniture, a window, all in the artist's exact style. It just seamlessly extends the artwork. That is an incredible display of what this generative creativity can do. Okay, so we've got a bit of the how down. Now let's talk about the why. What is all this good for? The really crucial point here is that this technology gives us, it gives us all these incredible new abilities. It's almost like giving everyone a set of creative superpowers. The best way to think about it is as a powerful co-pilot for our own ingenuity. If you're an artist, boom, it can generate endless variations on a theme for you. If you're a writer staring at a blank page, it can help you smash through writer's block with new ideas. Programmers, it can write all that boring boilerplate code in seconds. And look, it's not just about doing things faster, it's about augmenting, like supercharging our own creativity and efficiency. But, and this is a big but, like any incredibly powerful tool, it comes with some significant risks that we absolutely have to understand. It all feels a bit like magic, doesn't it? But we have to ask, what's the trick? Because behind all that magic, there is some very real, very serious challenges. Okay, first up, these models can hallucinate. And what that means is they can confidently just make things up. This happens because, remember, they're just predicting the next word. They don't truly understand what they're saying.
They are fantastic pattern matchers, but they are not truth seekers. And that can lead to information that sounds totally believable, but is completely false. Then you have this massive, thorny issue of intellectual property. I mean, think about it. These models are trained on absolutely vast amounts of data scraped from the internet. And that includes copyrighted art, copyrighted text, you name it. And this is already leading to some major, major legal battles over who owns what and what originality even means anymore. And finally, let's talk about your data. There are really serious privacy concerns here. Any conversations you have with these public AI tools, well, they can be stored. They can even be used for future training, and that creates some pretty significant risks for your private information. All of this leaves us with a really critical, maybe even profound question about our future with this technology. I mean, as we hand over more and more of the power to create to these machines, are we gaining a brilliant co-pilot, or are we slowly writing ourselves out of the story? The tools are here, they're getting more powerful every single day. The real challenge for all of us now is to decide how we're going to use them.